Hey guys, how are you all doing today? We're going to go ahead and get started. Yesterday when I put the little snippet in there about how to turn in your papers, I actually had the numbers wrong. The correct Thursday segment would be 37 to 48. I did 36 to 47. So today we're working on 37 to 48, but you already know that. So that's the reason that I had 36 to 47 on that thing yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take you through these. I'm going to start on number 37. I'm going to move my paper over to the edge of the screen so I can work in the blank over here. It works a little bit better for me on this end. All right, so number 37's talking about a carriage ride, and it's given different lengths and given in half miles, and the table represents that. So it basically wants to know what's the fixed charge. So each cost consists of a fixed charge and a charge per half mile. Well, looking at the table, every half mile it goes up 50 cents. Okay, so we know that the charge per half mile is 50 cents. So we've got to figure out what the fixed charge is from the beginning. Okay, so let's think about what it would be if we went for 4 miles. Hang on. See, this is what it does. It likes to move around on me. So I'm going to try to write it on the right side this time. So what if we wanted to go for 4 miles? I'm an eraser. Okay, 4 miles would cost us $7.50. 3 miles would cost us $7. 2 miles would cost us $6.50, or half miles anyway. 1 half mile would be $6, and then 0 half miles. All right, so this is where we've got to think about what is our fixed charge and what is our cost per half mile. So it does cost us $6 to go 1 half mile. So the fixed rate, if we were to go 0 miles, is $5.50. Okay, so think about that as in the reason for that, because we can't say $6 because that's what it costs to actually go 1 half mile. Okay, so $5.50 is going to be our correct answer, so we'll go with C. Moving down to 38. So we've got a right triangle. You know, we've talked about SOHCAHTOA. So the sine of angle A is 3/5. I'm going to draw on the triangle here. So it tells us this is our theta. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. We know that our right angle is in here, so the opposite's going to be 3. The hypotenuse is going to be 5. If we do the Pythagorean theorem, that tells us 4 is right here. Now let's figure out what the question asks. How many inches long is BC? Okay, so we didn't even need to do 4, but 3, 4, 5 is a common triangle. So the problem with this is 3 is not an answer choice, because according to our problem, BC should be 3. Okay, but the information that's given in the problem says that it is 16 inches long. Okay, the hypotenuse is. So basically, we can set up a proportion here. We can say 3/5 if we want. And then if we set our other side up, we're looking for something that matches x, and it's got to be over 16 because that's the actual length of that side. Okay, so we've done proportions several times, and we know that they've got to match in 2 directions. They match here because both of those are talking about the side length BC. They match here because both of those are talking about the hypotenuse. And they match in this direction because that's basically the reduced fraction, and that is the one that we're looking for. So if we cross multiply, we get 5x equals whatever 16 times 3 is, which is 48. And then we've got to divide by 5. Which outputs me 9.6. Okay, so that would be G for this problem. Moving down to 39. You know I love a circle. You know I love a coordinate plane. That normally means that we can draw it. Problem on this one is we're talking about a circle, and that's not all that common to draw. You know there is a formula for a circle. It goes x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So it does tell us that the radius of this circle is 4. So r squared is going to be 16 because that's 4 squared. Shoot, see, this is what this does whenever I try to write on the picture. All right, so r squared is definitely going to be 16. Okay, so that's good for us. That means A, B, and C are definitely out of the equation here. I've just got to deal with D and E left. It looks like the X coordinate on both of those is the same. The only thing I've got to do is determine the sign on the Y coordinate. So I've got Y minus 5 and Y plus 5, but the actual number in the order pair up here was negative 5, and according to the formula over here it's minus that number, so plus 5 would be our correct response, giving us the correct answer of E on this problem. Number 40, what's the largest integer value t that satisfies the inequality? Okay, so we can just try our answer choices on this one. Is probably our best option. I'm going to figure out what 24 over 30 is as a decimal. It's 0.8. So this thing really is 0.8, okay, is greater than something. So I've got to look for something divided by 24 that is smaller than 0.8. So I'm going to try 30. 30 divided by 24. That's 1.25. All right, so 1.25 is certainly not smaller than 0.8. 19 divided by 24. That gives me 0.79. 0.79. Okay, that's definitely smaller than 0.8. And my question asks for what's the largest integer that will work. So 19 is our biggest option. So G is the correct answer on this one. What's the distance in a standard XY coordinate plane between those points? All right, we've established that most of us really don't remember the distance formula, and we like to do our problems like this. We just create a little coordinate plane. That's not a great coordinate plane. Let me try again. Well, hang on. There we go. And we are at 5, 5, and 1, 0. So 1, 0 would be this spot. 5, 5 would be somewhere up in here. And we're looking for that distance. Well, we know that our best option is we just create a little right triangle and do the Pythagorean theorem because we can't remember the distance formula. So if we're going up to 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 5, this one's going all the way up there. That one's 5. We can do the Pythagorean theorem on that little triangle right there. So we're looking for the hypotenuse. So that would be 4 squared plus 5 squared is equal to c squared. So 16 plus 25 is equal to c squared. That's going to be what, 41? And then we take the square root. So c is square root of 41, which happens to be an answer choice B. All right, 42. LMNO is a trapezoid and P lies on LO. What's the measure of MON? So we are looking for this angle right here. Okay. Let's look at our information. We know the bottom left angle is 60. We've got M equals 30 up there. And 105 is not really all that useful to us right now, but it's going to be in a few minutes. Here's what I think we can do. Let's take the line MN, and then let's take the line LOP down here. And I'm going to throw this transversal back in. Okay, we definitely know that this angle right here is 30 degrees. So if that angle is 30 degrees, okay, that must mean that this angle is 30 degrees. And that angle right there directly corresponds to that angle right there. Okay, so I know that I've got 180 degrees on that straight angle all the way from this line over to here. So if I take 105 off of it and 30, oh, I can't do that. Okay, I can't take 105 off of it because 105 is not just that outside piece, it's the outside piece including the inside piece. So let's just take 30 off of it then. So 180 minus 30, that's going to give us 150. So that meaning, let me get a different color here, from my line here all the way over, that is 105. That is not true, because this tells me, hang on, let me erase this here for a second so I can see the information that we had. So that is 105 all the way over. All right, so let's restart here. Let's find something else that we can use. I'm still not going to abandon this 30-degree deal. I got 30 on the top. That's definitely true. I put 30 in the bottom. So let's read the problem again, make sure we know what we're looking for. MON is what we're looking for. It does tell me that that entire angle is 105. So let's see what that would output us then. 75 degrees in this spot right here. I'm not sure I agree with their reasoning on that. I 100% feel like that is a 30-degree angle. So let me do my math real quick. Let's just say that was 30. Take it off, it's 150. 150 minus 105 is 45 degrees. Okay, so let's go back to our situation that we had earlier. I think this picture is just drawn very poorly. So let's throw 30 degrees back in here, which then would mean this angle right here is 150 degrees rather than 105. So outputting us 45 degrees. Let's go 45 degrees for right now. I'm going to think on that one, and then I may update you on it tomorrow because I don't like the way that their problem is laid out and may have to go with some more information. So we'll go with K right now. Let me look at it again after I get done here, and then I'll get back with you. Okay, so 43. In triangle ABC, AB and AC are equivalent, okay? So that must mean it's equilateral. Let me get a better looking triangle here. This one's pathetic. So A, B, C more than likely because it says AB and AC are the same. And B is 34 degrees. Okay, so it wants to know what's the measure of angle A. So if AB and AC are the same, this guy over here must also be 34 degrees. So if we double 34 degrees, that outputs us 68. And we know there's 180 degrees in the triangle, so we'll subtract 68 from it, leaving us with 112. Okay, so my picture's definitely not drawn to scale. That's not a big deal. We don't really care. We just know it's 112, and we're moving on. So 44. A certain budget, 30% of the money goes towards housing costs, and of that portion, 20% goes to rent. If the amount of money that goes toward rent is $630, what is the total amount of the budget? All right, so we got a little is over of equals percent over 100 situation here. Ooh, hang on. So we've got to do this twice. All right, so we know 630 is what we're working with right now. That's 20% of 30%, okay? So basically we need to say 630, not 60, 600, oh gosh, I'll get better at this tomorrow, guys. 630 is 20% of what number? Okay, so if we solve this, we'll get 20x equals 630 times 100. And we'll multiply and then divide by 20. That gives me 3150. Okay, so 3150 is 30%. Okay, so now we've got to do that set up for 30% of something, okay, and we'll cross multiply again. So 30x equals 3150 times 100. So we'll multiply and then divide by 30. So 3150 times 100 divided by 30 gives us $10,500, which is answer choice K. All right, so we got 45. What is the matrix product of that? So if you don't know how to multiply matrices, they are they consist of rows and columns. So this guy right here is a 3-row by 1 column. And this guy over here is a 1 column by 3 row. Okay, so in order to be able to multiply matrices, you have to be able to, the numbers in the middle match, and the outer numbers tell you how big your answer is going to be. So our answer is going to be a 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, and basically what happens is the first row gets multiplied by the first column. Okay, so 2x times 1 is going to be 2x, so 2x goes in the top left. So then the next spot in the matrix is that row times the first column. So if you notice, this spot that I have underlined in my answer matrix down here is the first row, first column, second row. So I multiply the first column, which is 3x, times the second row, which is 0, and that outputs me 0 in this spot. So if you notice, that's the difference between A and B. That's as far as we need to go, so B is our answer on this one. All right. So 46, in the figure below, all line segments are either horizontal or vertical, and the dimensions are given in feet. What's the perimeter? Okay, so we need to know basically how tall this left side is over here. So if we've got 2 here and 1 there, that must mean we're 3 tall. Okay, but we've still got this little piece over here on the right side that we don't know. And if the whole length at the top is 4 and the bottom length is 3, that must mean we have a 1 here. If we can add all that up, then we can get our perimeter. So 4 plus 3 would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So G is our answer on this one. 47. The average of A and B is 6, and the average of A, B, and C is 11. What's the value of C? So I remember talking about this and talking about averages, and the best way that I like to do averages is to just make those values whatever that number is. So if the average of A and B is 6, then make A 6 and B 6, okay? Because the average of those two numbers is definitely 6. Okay, so we've got to figure out, basically we'll have to add A and B and C, there it goes, and divide it by 3, and that's going to output us 11. So if A and B are 6 already, we just got to figure out what C is that we can divide by 3 would equal 11. So at this point, I could try my answer choices if I really want. I could do 6 plus 21 and divide by 3. That's 11. That was really pretty easy. Okay, so I chose A. It happened to be the first one. It doesn't always work out that way. If not, I'll try some other ones. Last one, 48. In the greatest integer of a set of consecutive even integers is 12. If the sum of these integers is 40, how many are in the set? So the biggest is definitely 12. So they're going to be smaller from there. So they're consecutive even integers. So the next one down would be 10. So try to see if that's big enough to get you to 40. 10 and 12 would be 22. So we need another one. It would be 8. That would be 30. And then we need a 6. That would be 36. We need a 4. That would get us to 40. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers in this set F. Okay. So sorry that I was having some screen trouble here. I got better as I went, but that when you insert a picture into this Microsoft whiteboard, it gets a little weird. So I'll figure out something better to get us going. This week's kind of a trial run. I didn't think we were going to continue this class, and then we ended up continuing this class. So starting Monday, we'll start in for real. If you have any trouble uploading your pictures or anything like that, just let me know. It's actually pretty easy. I can send you some info if you need it. Okay, so hopefully this helped you. We're going to continue this as we go along. So if you need anything, just let me know.